Are we about to witness a shakeup in the Maple Leafs lineup? Rumors are swirling that a forward, who was expected to shine this season, might be heading out of Toronto. With a recent contract extension and underwhelming stats, the pressure is mounting for this player to step up or risk being traded away. Could this be the move that changes the playoff landscape for our beloved team? Stick around for the full scoop and make sure to hit that subscribe button and like our video for all the Maple Leafs updates. As the trade deadline looms, the Toronto Maple Leafs find themselves at a crucial crossroads, and the whispers in the wind are growing louder. Max Domi, a player we hoped would shine this season, is now being eyed as a surprising trade target. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially considering the potential we saw in him after signing that 4-year extension. But here we are, faced with the harsh reality of his performance so far this season. In 40 games, he's managed just 3 goals and 14 assists, totaling 17 points. That's not what we expected when he joined this team, especially with the opportunity presented by John Tavares' injury. Domi has been playing on the third line, and honestly, it feels like we're not seeing the explosiveness we need. Last year, he tallied 47 points. This year, it's like he's fallen off a cliff. It's particularly frustrating for a team like the Leafs, which has been desperately trying to squeeze more offense out of its lineup. Head coach Craig Berube has been urging Domi to shoot more, but it seems the message isn't quite landing. Now let's not sugarcoat this. Domi's inconsistency has been a theme throughout his career. With nearly 30 years under his belt and over 700 games played in the NHL, you'd think he'd have settled into a rhythm by now. But instead, we're left wondering if he can find his footing. And while his $375 million cap hit makes him a tough sell this year, the looming increase in the salary cap this offseason could open up a world of possibilities for teams looking to add a player with his skill set. But here's the kicker. If Domi wants to stick around in Toronto, he needs to find that offensive spark, and fast. The Leafs are sitting atop the Atlantic Division, but they're always hungry for more. The playoffs are just around the corner, and every point matters. Can we afford to keep a player who isn't producing? It's a question that weighs heavily on my mind. Do we pull the trigger on a trade and get something back for him, or do we gamble that he'll find his groove just in time for a playoff push? Honestly, I'm torn. As a passionate fan, I remember the promise Domi showed when he first arrived. There's a part of me that wants to believe he can turn it around here in Toronto, but I also feel the urgency of the moment. The Leafs have been chasing that elusive cup for decades, and every decision counts. So, what's the consensus among us fans? Are we ready to part ways with Domi, or do we hold out hope that he'll rediscover his game? I want to hear from you. What do you think? Should we stick it out with Domi, or is it time to move on? Dewar is currently day-to-day with an upper body injury, which is certainly a concern for us Toronto Maple Leafs fans. Coach Craig Berube shared this news with David Alter from the Hockey News, and it's just another bump in the road for Dewar, who has been trying to find his groove this season. In 29 games with the Leafs so far, he's tallied 3 assists and a -2 rating, averaging just over 10 minutes of ice time. Dewar's journey this season has been quite a roller coaster. He missed the first 14 games of the 2024-25 season after undergoing shoulder surgery during the preseason. After that, he had a brief stint with the Toronto Marlies in the AHL, where he managed to score a goal and an assist in just 1 appearance, showing, at least for a moment, that he has the potential to contribute. However, it's been tough, because he was acquired from the Minnesota Wild before last season's trade deadline, and you could feel the anticipation from the fan base about what he could bring to the table. In the previous season, Dewar split his time between the Wild and the Maple Leafs, where he ended up with 11 goals and 8 assists across 74 games. He also added an assist in 6 playoff games during the 2024 Stanley Cup run. So, as a 25-year-old with a career spanning 219 games, he's already racked up 19 goals and 27 assists for a total of 46 points. This is a player who has shown flashes of brilliance, and you can't help but wonder how much more he could provide if he were fully healthy. In July, the Leafs signed Dewar to a 1-year extension worth an average annual value of $1.18 million, which, given the current salary cap environment, seems like a solid move, especially since Dewar could become a restricted free agent next July. This contract indicates that the Leafs see potential in him, and it's important for us as fans to recognize that the front office is still looking to build a competitive roster around our core pieces. Now, let's talk about the Leafs' standing this season. They are currently leading the Atlantic Division with a record of 30-16-2, 5 points ahead of the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. It's exhilarating to see them on top, especially with a 3-game winning streak under their belt. The upcoming game against the Blue Jackets will be crucial. Can they extend that streak to 4? It's moments like these that make us dream of a deep playoff run. But here's the thing. What happens if Dewar's injury lingers? How does that impact the depth of our roster? Do you think this was the best decision in managing his situation? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, we want him to be healthy and contribute when it matters most. But on the other, the team needs all hands on deck, especially with the playoffs creeping closer. In my opinion, the Leafs have done a commendable job so far, but they still need to navigate these injuries carefully. It's about finding that balance between winning now and planning for the future. We've seen how injuries can derail a promising season, and we all know how much this fan base craves a championship. The pressure is mounting, and every decision counts. And you, what do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. How do you feel about Dewar's injury and the team's direction moving forward? Do you believe they can maintain their lead in the division? With the way the season is shaping up, it's all too easy to get swept up in the excitement and anxiety of it all. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things Toronto Maple Leafs. Don't forget to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. Let's rally together as fans and keep the conversation going. This is our team, and every voice matters as we chase that elusive cup.